So these videos will be mainly classical clinical science, very short videos, and most of them are commonly seen by all of you. Mainly residents will be very interested in knowing few classical clinical neurological science. First of all, I will go for a very simple clinical test. This helps in the ER casualty, especially when the patient comes with sudden severe vertigo. Patient, especially elderly age group, comes with comorbidities. This test it's a simple test, very short test, but which will help us rule out CNS cause for that vertigo in a very short span of time. So it is called head impulse test, in which the patient is made to sit straight, and we ask the patient to focus on the tip of our nose, and the patient is instructed to keep the neck loose, and we give a small jerk of around 10 degrees to each side. And generally the patient should be able to fixate his gaze on the tip of our nose. If the patient is not able to fixate and has a catch-up saccade within few milliseconds, then it goes more in favor of a peripheral vertigo, and this test has a very high specificity, about 96% specificity, so it helps us rule out severe CNS cause for any vertigo. So as we can see, this is the catch-up saccade. So on the left turn, we can see there is a catch-up saccade. This is a classical sign which will help us rule out severe CNS cause for the patient's acute vertigo. So this patient came in.
ठीक है, छोड़ दो, रिलैक्स करो. हर वक्त नहीं होता, जब सपोर्ट रखते हो तो नहीं होता.
See the left hand movements. These are involuntary quasi-purposive movements happening in the left hand,
ठीक है, छोड़ दो,
which
रिलैक्स करो.
are non-rhythmic. It is a left hemichorea. This patient presented with very high sugars. This was a case of non-ketotic hyperglycemia with hemichorea.
तो नहीं होता.
This is a young boy. I think all the videos are aligned. So again, this is a left-sided involuntary movement. If at all somebody can take a guess what it would be.
Age of the patient.
It's 14-year-old. There is something in the eye. KF ring, visible KF ring, at 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock position. Okay. And the tremors that he is having is called wing beating tremor, like a bird flaps its wings. Okay. This again got. Okay. So this was an interesting patient. So she came with some abnormal movements that were observed by the relatives on her left side of the cheek. Only on the left side. And if you look closely, there is some atrophy of muscles on the left side. The wrinkling is appreciated on the left side. This looks like a bag of worms, vermicelliary movement happening just in one specific group of muscle. And this is the EMG. which shows 1 to 2 discharges in around 1 second time in a group fashion. This is called as myokymia. So myokymia is a spontaneous kind of muscle discharge, just like fasciculations, but it is very different from fasciculations. This will come in only particular parts, fibers of the muscles, and it will appear like a bag of movements happening in a group of muscles. It will keep on changing. And myokymia is also seen physiologically in patients who are hyperthyroid, if there is excess caffeine intake also. Although this patient, there were other additional findings of some skin atrophy, some wrinkling of the skin on the left side of the face. She turned out to be scleroderma later on, localized scleroderma, but didn't follow up later on, was with the rheumatologist. Facial myokymia. So this was a young female I saw last month, 11-year-old child. Family has shifted from some remote place to the city in last 6 months, change of school. Not comfortable in her new school. And these were the kind of movements that the parents have been observing, increasing over last 1 month. Non-rhythmic, repetitive kind of movements involving different muscle groups. This was the video later shared by the father from home. I think it's not well oriented. What is the problem? The purpose is just concentrate on the face. This kind of this is a vocal tic happening in the laryngeal muscle. So tics are repetitive but non-rhythmic type of movements, generally have a habitual kind of a background to it. She had multiple stressors associated with it, and of course now she is following up with a pediatric neurologist, probably a Tourette's syndrome, and doing well on behavioral therapy as of now, and atypical antipsychotic.
जवान बाहर निकालो.
Just yes. Concentrate on the parallel.
जवान बाहर निकालो.
Different patients. One time
बाहर निकालो जवान. जवान बाहर निकालो.
8 months back. So this is a phenomenon called as palatal myoclonus, which occurs generally as a late manifestation of any brainstem insult, most likely following brainstem bleeds. There is a Guillain-Barré triangle which is there. The dysfunction of this triangle generally causes this kind of movements. What we call it as olivoponto hypertrophy. So I'll just give a small detail that it happens when there is affection of ipsilateral side of the red nucleus and the inferior olivary nucleus and the contralateral dentate nucleus. So majority of the patients will have this after brainstem bleed. The thing is that we don't follow up these patients with this complaint. These patients later on come back with the complaints of swallowing difficulty. We assume it is just the bulbar dysfunction, residual dysfunction after the brainstem involvement. But if we look, probably we'll catch more of such movements, palatal myoclonus. So this was again a young female.
इधर देखो मेरे उंगली को देखो.
So this was a young female who came with history of new onset vertigo, imbalance, and some hearing loss as well.
इधर देखो मेरे उंगली को देखो
Observe nystagmus on the right gaze. It is a small amplitude, fast beating nystagmus. Fast beating on the right side.
देखो उंगली को देखते रहो सिर मत हिलाओ सिर
Now, again on left gaze also there is a gate evoked nystagmus, but this is a larger amplitude, slower nystagmus. This is Brunn's nystagmus. Very classical if there is any cerebellopontine angle involvement. This patient had vestibular schwannoma. Classical sign in CP angle masses or CP angle tumor even can sometimes be associated with ischemic brainstem lesions.
राइट साइड इधर इधर मेरी तरफ पूरा मेरी तरफ देखो पूरा मेरी तरफ अभी उस तरफ देखो पूरा उस तरफ देखो
So
देखो।
difficult to see horizontal.
देखते रहो उधर
We can
सामने
see that
देखो।
the patient's left eye is
देखो।
abducting and having a nystagmus, whereas the right eye was not adducting completely. And on the right gaze, right eye was abducting and left eye was also adducting completely. This so is a case of right INO, internuclear ophthalmoplegia.
इकडे बघा इकडे बघा भिंतीकडे
Similar.
भिंतीकडे माझ्याकडे बघा भिंतीकडे बघा भिंतीकडे तिकडे त्या बाजूला डाव्या बाजूला खाली बघा वर
So bilateral inability to adduct the eyes. On both the sides, on abduction there is nystagmus, and vertical gaze limitation is also there. This is wall-eyed bilateral INO, as we call it as Webino, classically seen in thalamic or midbrain lesions. Even this patient had a midbrain bleed. So there are various other types of INO also described, something called as pseudo INO also. I would just mention this, important to look for, especially because INO kind of finding we will see even in patients who are having myasthenia gravis, which is a very easily treatable condition. And if you don't find any cause in the brainstem and the patient has INO, always try to look for causes of pseudo INO. This is a common gait that we see in our Parkinson's patients. Freezing of gait.
ओके आता ते घ्या
Now, a simple solution to it works in majority of the patients.
परत या परत व्हेरी गुड
So, visual cueing. So, sometimes even sensory cueing can help such patients. If we ask the patient to imagine that there is a football, just try to kick the football. That one step itself can help break the freezing. Sometimes even if we throw an obstacle on the path, if the patient throws his stick also, that can act as a sensory cue for him to just pass over it. Once that is overcome, again the further few steps are very easy. And this laser pen torch is easily available on Amazon. Around 300-400 rupees torch is there, which helps majority of the patients. Of course, initially, once the disease progresses, again, this is also not helpful. This is a young boy.
फुल फूम कर मला फुल फूम कर एवढी फुस नाही फुल जोरात हां
When asked to blow and count.
21, 22, 23, 24, 25.
काय कुठे होतो आपण कुठे होतो
Sudden behavioral arrest
27 का की 25
with preserved consciousness but lost awareness for few seconds. This is an absence seizure, and which is aggravated with hyperventilation. Classically, we also make the patients hyperventilate when we do EEG. to catch typical EEG findings of absent seizures. That is a 3-Hz spike and dome pattern. This is a video EEG. This is of course contributed by my colleague. Patient is lying okay. A typical fencing kind of a posture. There is one-sided elbow flexion, abduction up to 90 degrees. The same side leg also jerks, and the opposite side hand completely extends. Here again we can see. It is also described as figure of 4 semiology of a seizure, or M2E kind of a seizure. This is typical of frontal lobe epilepsy. And the hand, the left hand, which is extending completely, is generally the ipsilateral side of the involvement. This was a left frontal lobe epilepsy. Young 2.5-year-old baby. Sudden head drops. A type of atonic seizure. Commonly atonic seizures are seen with Lennox-Gastaut syndrome. It has many other seizures along with it. And this guy had a hypoxic ischemic insult during delivery. So,
दुसऱ्या हाताने झालंय बरोबर दाढीची
that is the left arm. I think we'll again see. It's the left arm, and you can see
दुसऱ्या हाताने झालंय
goosebumps
बरोबर
on
दाढीची
the left arm.
तो दाढीची नाही
By the time I could take the video, even the beard had piloerection, which was missed. Even the leg had piloerection. By the time the video was taken, it settled down. So, ictal piloerection, a typical sign of temporal lobe epilepsy. Generally, the ipsilateral side of temporal lobe is involved. And these are the few things which we generally miss. The patient is not able to understand what it is when they come to us. And we generally tend to miss the history of focal seizures, and especially how the onset is. Because in epilepsy, always the onset is the most important part, because eventually there is cortical spread. And then the further areas involved, and eventually the patient can also have a generalized seizure. The onset, the first manifestation that occurs is most of the times very useful in localizing. So this patient and the other patient had the same diagnosis, eventual, the final diagnosis. This was temporal lobe epilepsy, but this again is a difficult to appreciate, but she is having a facial dystonia along with a sudden right hand dystonia. So this is a facio-brachiodystonic seizure, a classical sign with autoimmune epilepsy. Both of them turned out to have limbic encephalitis, anti-LGI1 encephalitis, autoimmune encephalitis. This was unilateral piloerection and facio-brachiodystonic seizures. This is from a CCTV footage. You can see there is a man standing. Look at his head first. Rotating on the left side, continuously rotating. And now the left hand jerks, left leg also jerks. Again, in this, if you will be able to observe, initially the head turns on the left side, and then there is a gyratory kind of motion revolving around the axis of the body on the left side, falls, and then has left-sided upper limb and lower limb jerking. This is again from another angle. So gyratory seizures also it's a very typical thing. If the gyratory seizure starts with the head turn on one side, then the localization is on the contralateral side of the head turn. So he started off with the left head turn and left gyratory motion. So the localization was on the right frontal lobe. But if it does not start with the head turn and then only there is rotation, then the localization is on the ipsilateral frontal lobe. There is also a good video of a lion which is available on YouTube. Gyratory kind of movement. Just when it is about to catch its prey, the lion has a seizure. This is again a young female. This was a very difficult thing. We could not exactly localize. Very interesting similarity. So starts off first with right-sided gaze, localizes to the ipsilateral temporal, most commonly it is contralateral frontal, but then there is a smile, again a temporal phenomenon. Then there is this mummy posture. This has a rough value for localization. Now this is followed, this is how the seizure spreads. Now she is going to have a left-sided first eye deviation, then the entire head deviation to the left side. So the seizure then spread to the contralateral side. Started off with a temporal lobe on the right side. In her MRI there was focal cortical dysplasia on the right temporal lobe. Again, this was a young boy who came with sudden onset imbalance vertigo. So you can see he is fairly okay while standing. Even on walking there was no major ataxia. Something similar, yes. So now he closes his eyes. आंखें बंद रख लो, गिरने नहीं देंगे. So there is only one-sided lateral pulsion. Sensory ataxia generally has a global unsteadiness on closing the eyes. So this was isolated lateral pulsion which happened. Generally there is ataxia with lateral pulsion involving when there is lateral medullary syndrome. This patient had an embolic infarct in the flocculonodular lobe of the cerebellum. That is why he had only this isolated lateral pulsion. Very difficult to miss if you don't test for rhomboids.
But the gait was normal.
Gait was normal. There was no ataxia.
And this signs other.
So, there was no coordination. Isolated. This is a very common sign which we will see in medicine clinics most of the times. Tapping on the facial nerves. What takes time?
ठीक है बस
Once you inflate up to 30-40 mm, you can see the carpopedal spasm happening on the left crosses. Again, a common. He is not able to extend his one finger.
मुंग्या येतात का
Something similar.
बोटांना
Very difficult to see, but there is a cord kind of a formation below his ring finger. The pituitary contracture, chronic alcoholic and also diabetic. I think on horizontal it is difficult to say. I just go and time is also less. There are bizarre movements, all kind of movements are there. It was a functional patient. And the last one now, this was again contributed by a senior.
सीधा करो एक बार दिखाओ ना ठीक है
Right
इसके
facial.
दिखाओ एक बार
Okay.
हंसो हंसो
Now,
हंसो
now there is no facial.
ठीक है सीधा रखो हंसो मत ठीक है क्या दिक्कत होती है
So typically only involving volitional fibers. So this is volitional facial palsy. Emotional fibers are preserved. When he will smile, he will cry, there will be no facial weakness. Only on voluntary muscle movement there will be facial weakness. This is generally only when the motor tract, frontocorticobulbar tracts are involved. And there is the other type of this where only emotional facial palsy is there. Where only when the patient smiles, patient can have this facial weakness. And that is generally when amygdala or the thalamocortical fibers are involved. Thank you so much.